Alex, great to see you again. But for the audience, we are both coaches and we love to connect and talk about coaching. I'm curious about one of the main struggles I have as a coach
Mm,
is not to give people too much advice.
mhm,
I'm
mhm,
wondering if you'd be willing to comment on why, as coaches, we try not to give much advice and how you
mhm.
approach that in your group and individual coaching work.
It sounds strange to people, especially when any of us are the coaching client, to,
Yes.
s- to think that we are maybe our own best advisors.
Mm,
That the answers that we come up with, or the solutions, the new understandings that we come up with ourselves, are really the ones that we tend to believe in the most. Even
yes.
when we really respect somebody's wisdom and experience, and we'll listen to their advice, but there's always a little bit of, "Well, that's good for you, and maybe that's worked for other people, but really, that's going to be really tough because I'm a tough case."
Yeah.
And so when I ask a client various kinds of hopefully well thought of questions that keep leading back to a certain line of thinking, and probe and keep probing a little bit more, uh, and when they finally come up with, you know, I think that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
And it's like you just did. It's a thing. And that's the thing that they're usually going to take and run with it. It happened to me as a coaching client,
Yeah.
and in fact, that was the way I came up with the thing we had talked about in previous videos about the circles of life. Was I was struggling a lot with finding coherence in my life,
Wow.
and it was actually my coach during my coach training while we were in practice, and it came out. She kept asking me and asking me and asking me, well, what's going to give you this kind of sense of purpose and coherence?
Yeah.
And then I said, well, maybe if I can just think of my life in some simpler way, in like three things. And then it evolved to something still very simple, just three circles or spheres of life that I try to kind of sort things into.
And as you said, because it came from you, it resonated better for you. It meant more to you, and you've stuck with it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wonderful. I
Yeah.
love how coaching can help people realize their own solutions.
Yeah, yeah. And what do you find in terms of that dynamic when you're sort of, sometimes, I know in our conversations we've said sometimes one sort of says, okay, now I'm going to offer you a piece of advice,
Yeah.
and you make it distinct from, and I'm going to keep bugging you with questions till you solve your problem.
Yes.
What are you learning about advising and questioning?
I I love the challenge of it because, as you and probably everyone watching knows, I do a lot of workshops. And if I'm
Mm,
giving a workshop, it is my job to say, here's the science, here's what you might try this.
mm,
Coaching, the way I was trained as a coach, and I wonder if you came across this phrase, we're attempting to lead from behind, which I
mhm.
find a fascinating concept. What
Yeah.
does that mean to lead from behind? What that
Mhm.
means to me is, suppose I were coaching you, and you and I have traded coaching
Mm.
sessions, which
Yeah,
were wonderful. But if I
yeah.
were coaching you and I thought, okay, Alex is coming to me with a problem of too many coaching clients, and what's he going to do about this? If I think I have the answer to you for you, instead of giving it to you, I will ask a genuinely open-ended question that I think will get you to see this solution.
Mm.
And sometimes that happens, but sometimes the surprising joy in coaching is I ask a question that's, for example, what has worked for you in the past when you've had too much work? And I'm
Mm.
thinking, oh, I'm leading you here. And you say, oh, this idea over here worked really well for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's so cool. I asked you a question thinking I was going to get you here, and you took yourself where you needed to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
As you know, in coaching, we treat the client as a whole, resourceful, healthy person who
Mhm.
has resources and can solve their own challenges
Yeah.
with just a bit of help from a coach.
Yep, yep. You know, it was interesting. It was quite a few years ago now, but somebody explained to me the meaning of the word facilitate. And
Yes.
it's so simple, but so powerful: to make easy,
Yes.
facile in Latin,
Yes.
or in Spanish. And that really changed the way that I looked at being a facilitator and a coach, which is really to lead from behind, to skillfully get myself out of the way.
Yes.
and and consciously, just to facilitate somebody's process or a group's process of learning and growth, and try to just simply make that process easier, maybe also better, but easier for them to do what they really need to do with a little help.
Love it. Who couldn't use a little help lately, right?
Yes, and to
And
make life easier.
whether it's individual or group coaching, coaching can be that facilitation that makes hard things in life just a little easier for us.
Yeah, totally.
Wonderful. Thank you,
Yeah.
Alex.
Thank you, Scott.